just to introduce myself, I've known Karen for a long time. I don't know if you guys do. Do you guys do Founders Institute? Have you done that before? No. Heard of it? Okay. So something that Andy used to run, right? Yeah. Anyway, so I actually started as one of the mentors for FI about 5 years ago, right? So that's how I got to know Andy and Karen over the years, and they've always been very kind to invite me to share whatever stories that I have. Yeah. So, anyways, that's why I'm here today. I think some of you know me. I know Ardo for also quite a few years. My name is Weihan, and I run a company called Mainspring. So Mainspring, we do essentially two things, right? One, the big app that we do is called Babe, Baca Berita. So maybe some of you read the news, right? I hope you use Babe.
Yeah, I have it on my phone.
You have it? Good, great. we just have the 5.0 version just today, just released today. So please update your app. It's a much better release. Babe, we started about 2 years back, and we grew from zero. We started really with like 3 or 4 people that actually Ardo helped us to hire, right? We started with 3 or 4 developers, and we now it's we're about almost 1.5 million people every day using it, right? Our total downloads are like 6 or 7 million right now, right? I think we are probably the largest news app, and in terms of overall traffic, we're probably second after Twitter. That's my sense. So that's Babe. So we have a quite big team now of people working on this news app. We don't do any content. What the app does is that we crawl different sources in Bahasa. We actually crawl Bahasa Indonesia, Bahasa Melayu, right? We aggregate all this news and blogs and content, and the machine will figure out what each article is talking about, right? So in the jargon we call it natural language processing, right? We do NLP in Bahasa, and it's able to contextualize every single article. Why we do that is because, let's just say, after we do all the contextualization, we figure out what the articles mean, and then we push it to the people that like this type of article, right? So just to give a very easy example, I don't know how many of you watch Real Madrid and Ronaldo, right? But let's say the machine grabs a piece of news about Ronaldo, and let's just say he scored 2 goals against Barcelona last night, right? So the machine will know that, hey, this is actually about football, it's about bola, about Real Madrid, about Ronaldo. And let's just say Ardo is a Real Madrid fan, right, or Ronaldo fan. You can see the news, right, on your Babe feed, as well as on your push, right? But let's just say on the same day, there's a news article about Ronaldo just broke out his girlfriend, right? The machine will figure out this is actually about Ronaldo, but not about Real Madrid, not about football. It's just gossip, a celebrity, right? So figure, hey, so let's say if I'm a gossip lover, right, I will see the piece of news, but Ardo won't see it, right? So that's at the crux of what Babe does actually. We produce no content, so our value add is very simple. That is that we do, I would say that we do the layer on top of the content, right? Figure out which content is best for you. So that's Babe. We also run, as part of our media business, we also run a website called jalantikus.com. Some of you might have used it, some of you might have not. Jalantikus is actually a pretty big website. It's about 10 million visits per month right now, right? About 300,000-400,000 every day. But the funny thing is that most of the people who use this website are actually people living outside of Jakarta. Jakarta is only about 10% of the traffic, right? And it's mostly young people, like 18 to 25 years old. Right? So people are just looking for technology news and tips and reviews in Bahasa, and looking to download some hack or something that they cannot find on Google Play, right? They call Jalantikus. Yeah. So that's on the media side. The company, we also have a team of people within the company that run Main Games. Right? It's a game publishing operations, right? You might have tried some of our games. We do a lot of mobile games now, and some web and PC games. Right? So basically, if you think about what we do as a company, as Mainspring, how we make the revenue is really a mixture of advertising as well as gaming revenue. Right? Advertising, we try to drive a lot of traffic to our sites, to our media assets, right? And then gaming is more straightforward, right? So the company, we have about 100 people today, and about half R&D, right? So I've been in, I'm not Indonesian, I'm actually from Malaysia, but I've lived here in Jakarta for about 5 years now. We started with 2 or 3 people actually. Right? We're lucky, we started early enough for many of these things. That most of the things, that these streams that we did quite early on, actually is paying off over time. Before I did my own company, I've done a few things. I used to be a product manager at Microsoft for many years. I have done a bit of venture capital. I was in the Nokia Growth Partners, which is their venture team. I started my career in this consulting firm called BCG. Back when I was at BCG, I used to live in Jakarta. This was actually right after Suharto fell, right? So maybe some of you were not born then. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. I'm happy to take questions, whatever you guys want to talk about today. Right?
First you said you can know what they like, what they dislike, so you can give relevant news for them. How do you know about their what they like?
So we have so Karen's question is, how do we know what users of Barbie like and don't like, right? It's actually conceptually it's very simple. There are two ways that we know, right? One way is that we take your demographic profile, your what we call a user cluster, right? So it can be your Facebook demographics, right? And because we know that hey, people of this kind of demographics of this kind of interest groups, they like this kind of news, right? This is on the level 1, right? Level 2 is actually more interesting. Is what we do because our users actually spend a lot of time on Barbie. On average, about 15 to 20 minutes every day, which is quite a lot of time. It's almost like a short TV show, right? If you think about it. So, and we are able to track every single article that they read, right? And based on that, we are able to figure out where your core interests lie, right? So if you read a lot of politics, you read a lot of fashion. Some people like to read a lot of sex actually. It's quite a big interest group in Barbie, right? So different things. And based on your historical behavior, we are able to cluster you and then do that one-on-one personalization.
So,
it's optional, although about half our users do. It's optional, right? But once you do, then obviously we have more and more data on you, right? So there's actually a lot of big data that goes on behind this, right? That's why we have so many engineers, right? Because the value of what we do, as I said, Barbie as a product, right? We do no content, we do zero content. Right? Our value is not the content. Our value is really in the data and how we make use of the data.
do you have any plan after you get all the data?
Yes, of course. Because we are able to personalize the news for you, right? We are also able to personalize the advertising, right? So people might not realize this, but we actually make money from Barbie today, right? Our revenue is okay, it's not bad, right? And a lot of that is because we have so much data accumulated over the years. So anyways, that's in a nutshell. Any topics that you want me to cover specifically, like for the teams here, the 2 teams? Traction, right.
As they will launch their product soon,
Right,
so
okay.
probably any month, or probably how they can get to users.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I actually can before I go into that. Can I just get a quick summary from some of the team leaders maybe about what you guys do and what you're hoping to get out of this session here?
So we're Ideabox.
Okay.
We're an online marketplace that sells toys and every children products.
Okay. So toys and kids
And
products.
kids product, clothing, babies accessories, and any kind of.
Okay, I see.
The first way we do that and to attract customers is to focusing in toys first and
Okay.
then scale it a bit.
I see. So start with toys. Okay. And it's more like an e-commerce model, right? You have to take inventory and then.
No, we are not taking inventory.
Okay.
Marketplace.
So you're marketplace.
Yep.
So more like Tokopedia.
Yep, kind of
Right.
like that.
Okay, I see. Okay, great. And who's on the team? Yourself?
Me, Ruby here, Glenn, and Sorsono and Jacob. Yep.
Okay, so about 5 people.
Yeah.
Can I just get a quick sense of your background? So what have you done before this? I know Ado. I know since you graduated, right? But for the rest, can you give me a quick summary?
Yeah, Glenn was in consulting firm before. I used to work at Shares company before too.
I'm sorry.
Shares.
Shares.
company. Yeah.
Okay.
So my background is finance and accounting.
I see. Okay.
Myself, basically, previously I worked at Ideabox as a technology consultant. I'm handling the technical and hardware programming and Java also.
Okay. Great.
So
I'm Ruby. I'm the new member here, the newest member. Previously, I'm an intern at Moxie Wilna.
Oh, Moxie Vilna. Okay.
As
So it's
a
already
deal
officially
quality-
merged. Moxie Vilna.
Yeah,
Okay.
as a deal quality assurance intern.
I
So
see.
I'm doing the pricing, and now
Oh.
here I'm sales marketing.
I see. Okay. Okay. Great.
Okay, my name is Bimo.
Okay.
I'm from Carental. So basically, we're an online aggregator for independent car rental service. So you know that the fact that that 68% of the car rental industry is underutilized.
I see.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, the market for the customer is changing. 40% is done prefer to book online
I
car
see.
rental.
I see.
So we try to solve the problem.
Sure. Okay.
So we created a rental management software system
Okay.
that we distribute to the independent car rental owner.
I see.
So they can use the application to done their scheduling, customer relationship management, maintenance, and also doing sales report, etc. And by using our technology, we can collect their availability data.
I see. Okay.
So we can see whether their car is empty or not, and then we sell it to our through our booking platform.
So who's on the team, by the way? The 3 of you?
No, we have 4 in here right now.
Okay, I see.
Andy, Chandra, and Nala.
Okay. Can you guys give a quick summary of the background?
My background hospitality and finance.
Okay.
For the past 5 years, I've been doing my own business in tour and travel.
I see. Okay.
my background is in informatics engineering. For the past 5 years, I'm running a software house company specialized in .NET.
I see.
And
.NET. Okay.
.NET and in Karana, my responsibility is in technical.
I see. Okay.
My name is Nala. My background is in business management. My last experience is in running construction company in telecommunication. But my job today, I'm the one who responsible with supplier and car rental owner.
I see. Okay.
Basically, our traction now is that we have already 1,600 cars
Okay.
already registered
Right.
in the website,
Mhm.
and then we have 20 company
Okay.
already done in the alpha testing right now.
I see. I see.
My background is I have a car rental company,
Okay.
my family, for the past 20 years.
Oh,
I've done
really?
also done the spin-off company for the software embedded system
I see.
for WiMAX, and then with Nala also a construction company. With Chandra also done the software company for B2B design. So we are basically guys that doing lots of business with B2B. Now we're trying to do the B2B also for the B2C.
B2C. Right. Great. Okay. Let's thank you for the intro. Very helpful.
We actually
Oh.
have another startup. And
I'm Dimas from Social West.
Okay.
This is my team.
he's not
They're very busy.
So,
From
Oh, sorry.
for digital marketing.
I see.
Facebook, in Twitter,
Okay.
Instagram,
Yep.
and blogger.
I see. Okay.
And then TikTok.
Yep. Okay. So similar to why did you get?
It's actually a bit different because, sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. So basically, influencers are what they call like the current YouTube stars and
Right.
blog stars and all those celebrities on internet. So what they do is they connect corporations or other company that wants to use them as
Right.
a platform for marketing.
Okay.
So they are currently like the bridge between the two sides.
I see. Okay, understood. Okay. So the well, is there? I guess I'll start by asking: is there something that you guys want to know that I can help with? I mean, what do you think is the most burning question right now on your minds?
Acquiring more user,
Okay.
generate revenue.
Okay. I see. So for you, it's
And-
acquire more users. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also the marketing technique.
I see. Okay.
I think it's quite the same. You basically acquire more users.
Okay.
Since, as you know, we're a pre-startup
Right.
and we are, I mean, a pre-seed investment.
Right.
With that lack of resources and money,
Sure.
to get the best ROI by kids. If we just keep doing trial and error,
Right.
and by going on, it's the same. We're still losing money, but
Right.
how to measure what the best metrics to use, how to control the best ROI in every marketing you spend.
Right. I see. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Since we have the B2B software, the rental management system,
Mhm.
and the B2C website
Right.
for customers to book the car,
Right.
and for the B2B part, how do we motivate them to use the software? How to motivate them to move from the previous software to our software, or from manual apa? Manual
Manual input.
manual input into a software.
Yeah, because we have
see.
a two-sided market,
Right.
the B2B side and the B2C side.
I
So
see.
the B2B is what Chandra said, that we have a problem in getting some independent car rental owner to move to our system.
I see. Okay, understood. I guess let's start with you guys since you asked the question first. What is your MVP? Do you guys have MVP already? Like
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Just keep scrolling down. So this is actually our MVP.
Okay.
Since we're focused in children market or categories, so basically our target is mothers.
Okay, mothers. Okay. So like young mothers, older
Yeah,
mothers, young mothers.
mostly young mothers and first mothers.
Okay, I see. Okay.
So with the currently right now, in terms of SKUs, just for toys, we already have 4,000 active products. 4,000 active products is around, I think around 40 merchants, including us, because Glenn here, his family business is toys importer and supplier
Oh, I
for
see.
30 years back.
Right.
So we already have the distribution control.
Sure.
We already understand children consumption.
Okay.
So yeah, and then in terms of users, we already get initial user base. So
Okay.
we have already around, if I'm not mistaken, around 1,100, around 1,100 emails and users. 1,003.
1,300 emails.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's before pre-launch. So
Right.
we're expecting. So basically, our planning is to be like around next week or 2 more weeks, right?
Okay.
So we have to pre-launch, and currently we're already doing testing, data migration,
I see.
and API integration.
Okay.
So
Okay.
basically, kind of like that. And the campaign that we already execute is the social media campaign. So because of that, we managed to get quite high amount of subscriptions.
I see.
In terms of in our website and also in our social media.
Right. I see.
And yeah, that's it. After doing that, we're trying to measure the metrics. Okay, which one of the best marketing to use with
Right.
only this amount of this little amount that we spend. So is there any feedback or advice since we're not a place?
How
and
much?
we're niche
I assume you don't have much marketing
Yep.
spend or budget, right?
Yeah.
It's I would say small for now.
It's actually below than a million.
Million.
Rupee.
Oh wow. Okay. I see. So in other words, you know, you will have that's a very small thing, right? So it depends on your objective, frankly, right? I mean, you can think about it in the longer term. You know, then I think it's a question of business model. You know, what's the where do you guys want to take this, right? That's I think a whole different discussion. If you want to say, let's just keep the discussion at how do you get some initial traffic? Yeah, okay, that's a different discussion, right? But yeah, I mean, you know, whatever it may be. I mean, if you guys want to, I assume that you're doing this because you want to raise a Series A and Series B, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of that will be very dependent on some basic traction, right? That's one thing. But the other thing that don't forget as well, when you walk into a conversation with a VC, right? I used to be one, so it's not just about the traction. You can show some nice numbers, but if he or she they don't believe what you're saying about the market, about your direction, it's also very hard to get funding. You know what I mean? Right. So you know, and a big part of that is like to say, toys. How big is that?
Yep.
Right. Kids. How big is that? Right. Marketplace. You know, how competitive is that? And there are all these questions that you have to ask. And, you know, maybe the other mentors will come by and talk to you about different things, right? But don't forget that I mean, so basically you're saying you have close to zero marketing budget, right? That's what you're saying, right? Because you're saying 1 juta, right? Rupiah, right? So that's close to zero, basically. Based on that, I would say that you will have to do some, very creative things around social media and see how it converts to transactions. But it's fairly hard. I think it's fairly hard, frankly. Right. Just to be very blunt about it, because you think about e-commerce, right? In general, as a sector, right? Not just in Indonesia but across the world, right? E-commerce as a sector, you need to get the initial money in, right? To show the conversion rates, right? A lot of it's actually about the conversion rates, right? How many clicks you get, right, to a website, and how that converts into paying users and then returning users, right? There's a whole funnel that you have. So if it's, if you don't have that, then then you have to try a lot on social media, on Instagram and Facebook and so on and so on, right? But to me, that's a fairly challenging thing to do, just based on what I've seen so far, right? Unless you really have a unique angle, unique product you're trying to sell. At this stage, I would say to do it as a marketplace, to position it as a marketplace, not so easy. I would say you're 5 years too late, right? If let's say this is 2008, 2009, or even 2010, when Tokopedia got started, right? You position yourself as a marketplace in a very niche sector, I think people might listen to you. But in today's Indonesia, I think it's not so easy, right? So either you're a marketplace, or you're a e-commerce service that specializes in kid stuff, right? I think it's very hard to be both, frankly.
Yes.
Right. Because like you say, hey, kid stuff, you're going after mothers and parents. Sounds to me more niche, right? Why is it niche? You can look at Bilna, right? Bilna got merged at the end of the day, but Bilna didn't raise small money. They raised like more than $10 million, right? They raised what, 15 million? Right? It's not small money actually. So if they could not really make it work with that kind of scale, 200 people, they need to say, hey, look, if this is a niche vertical, how do I play a niche vertical, right? So I know this is not they're helpful to say, how do you get 1,000 people next week? Right? You know, if that's your objective, get 1,000 users next week, I would say you almost have to do it like by you guys actually haven't even gotten to MVP yet, to be very frank. This is not MVP. MVP is like once you get in your first 100 customers, right? That's your MVP. But right now I think you're pre-MVP, right? The issue for you is how do you get the first 100 people in? You might even want to just go and test it out to the general public, right? Without any sort of online acquisition, and see if does it make sense or not, right? What's the value? I mean, are you going after people in Jakarta or outside Jakarta, right? If you're going after people in Jakarta, say the middle class here, people spend a lot of time in malls actually, right? I'm not sure how big toy purchasing is online. In fact, I don't even know how big it is in China or US, which are much bigger markets. Right? So there are all these issues that I think you guys have to consider, right? But especially when you're a series